In this video, we are going to add some vectors together, and we're going to start off in a little bit of a different format. So this is really comes from this. I call it a complex notation. It's basically this 5, 3i would have looked like this. So here's your vector, and then we would convert it into 5 plus 3i. And I'll show you why that's actually might be a little bit helpful. So if the other one would have been a 7, 2, we can convert it into a 7 plus 2i. So why the value to that is that we're going to take these two vectors, right, and we're going to add them together. So when we add them together, that's what this is called. It's called a resultant vector, which basically just means we're going to add. So if we're going to take a 5 plus 3i, and we're going to add 7 plus 2i, basically you're combining like terms. The 5 and the 7 are going to add together and make 12. The 3i and the 2i are going to combine together to make 5i. So what that's looking like is a coordinate of 12, 5. So we want to find the magnitude and the direction. So basically, if you have one vector and you're adding it to the other, this is one way to kind of write it out. You may see it like that, but basically you can always take those and convert it back into a coordinate, combine your x's, combine your y's, and that's what we call our resultant vector. All right, so we would like to draw that picture, figure out what the direction is and what the magnitude is to that. So we'll do that by going out 12, and we'll go up 5 and plot our point. So there is our resultant vector of us adding the other two vectors together, and we are out. So we'll make a triangle down to the x-axis. We are out 12, up 5. This is our resultant vector. Our magnitude, we can call it r, we can call it whatever you want. And our angle that we're going to figure out is going to be that. Okay, so we're going to do Pythagorean theorem, and we're going to do some SOHCAHTOA to figure out what we got. So if we do Pythagorean theorem, we have 12 squared plus 5 squared equals r squared. So that's 144 plus 25 equals r squared. That adds up to 169. And we're going to square root both sides to cancel away the square. And 169 is a perfect square. If you throw that in the calculator, you're going to get 13. Okay, so our magnitude is that value. All right, that's that length right there. So the other piece of this is we need to figure out trig function. SOHCAHTOA. All right, again, I try to avoid ever using a value that I just found just in case I got it wrong. So I'm going to just focus on these two, and this would be the opposite. This would be an adjacent. So that means we would be using tangent. So tangent of theta is going to equal the opposite over hypotenuse, 5 over 12. In order to find the angle measurement, we're going to have to do the inverse tangent of that 5 over 12. And whatever we get, that is going to be our direction. So I don't know. We're going to do the inverse tangent of 5 divided by 12. And that's going to get us 22.6 degrees. So our angle is 22.6 degrees. And that is our direction. Our direction for that vector after we added them together, those other vectors together, our direction was 22.6 degrees. All right, and that was adding vectors together that are heading in different directions. Because if you graph that, they would not be going in the same direction, but they get kind of tacked onto each other, and that's what our new vector looks like.